And we're back on Catfish on Ice. This is episode 109 with Chad Minton and Rich Howe, your host. And we've got the infamous Catfish Jake joining us fresh out of the Stadium Series weekend. Yeah, he's infamous in our book because he inspired the podcast name. So, of course, he's infamous in our eyes, right?
Oh, man. So awesome.
He's actually fitting time into his schedule to come join the podcast again. Catfish Jake, you were on the podcast way in our early days. I can't even remember what episode it was. But you came on way back, but we're really excited to have you back. How are you doing, man?
Man, I'm great. I appreciate y'all having me back. I'll come on here anytime, man. I appreciate y'all having me. And y'all are good dudes, and I love the name, so it's always a good time. Anytime.
That's awesome.
Here.
We appreciate it.
All right.
For sure.
So, so you were at the Stadium Series game, obviously. I think we all know that by now. I mean, what other question could I ask to get this all rolling here is how did you pull it off? It's like a Houdini act, in my opinion, that you pulled it off.
Yeah.
But the video is so insane. It's so cool. Like, and it's great form. Like the wind up is like perfect. Like if you're trying to teach anybody how to throw a catfish properly, then you need to go watch that video. So honestly, man, everybody, our listeners right now, we're being joined by Catfish Jake, who is inspired the name of the podcast, obviously, through the Catfish on the Ice against the Pittsburgh Penguins in the Stanley Cup Final in 2017. He can tell us that story really quick if he would like to, but we really want to know what happened in the Stadium Series game that you just did, man.
It looked really good. It was like you'd almost done that before. It's you know exactly what you're wanting to do there with that throw. So
yeah, well, so the sad part is I have been practicing that. As dumb as it sounds, I'll take you back to the Winter Classic last year in Dallas. I had tickets. I had a ticket. What do you call it? A flight. I had a front row seat, and I was in my backyard practicing how far I could throw a catfish. So like 30 yards. That's how I figured how close I'd be. But my youngest son actually broke his arm like midnight the night of the before the game, so I didn't get to go. So I've been stewing on that for a while. We got the Stadium Series. It was obviously going to go down. Being in our hometown, right? So the cool thing is I got to scout it out. My 12-year-old son plays hockey for the Pred Select.
Oh, cool.
And his team, so they had a hockey, street hockey tournament Friday. And then his team got to go be stand-ins for the rehearsal Friday night. So he got to go like full Pred's garb, like walk out just like the players did, stand there in the stadium, like all that stuff. So
that's awesome.
I got an idea of how far away I'd be because I thought it was going to be close enough on one end to just throw it from the stands, but that was a hell of a throw. So that's when I knew I was going to have to jump on the field and take off running and just kind of similar to Pittsburgh, scouted it out.
Yeah, well, there's all this space around the perimeter. Like when you're in a stadium, there's a good little gap between the stands and the boards of the ice. And so in the video, everyone needs to go watch it. It's on I gotta pull up your Twitter handle here, man. But go watch the video. It's freaking incredible. And it's like, so yeah, at Jacob Deverell, Deverell, Deverell. Yeah. Go follow that. And you get a wind up, man. You get in there, you're playing his day, and then somebody comes in and like swipes. It's like stadium personnel. So kind of tell us what happened. Tell us what happened after that, man.
Well, so after that, it's all funny to me, right? Because it's in good fun. It's our fan tradition, and all of course. That stuff. So I thought I was free and clear. Like from where I was looking, I had nobody this way, So I wound it up. And as I'm letting it go, I'm like, man, I'm going to get this. And it got right out of my hand and dude just hit me from the backside. And he was upset. He was hard, breathing hard and stuff. He's like, man, I think you said something like, here's the thing. I'm laughing. So
yeah,
hard to really tell, but it was something like, man, what the hell are you doing out here?
What do you think I'm doing?
Yeah. I just threw a catfish.
You saw what I did.
So yeah, he was all upset and huffing puffing stuff. And they were cool, man. The cops, Metro was really cool about it. You know, when you're not an idiot, okay, it's not true. When you're an idiot like me, but you're not a belligerent drunk idiot, you know, that tends to calm everything down. There were some guys who were not Metro who were a little bit more worked up. That you know, I got banned from the stadium. I'm not allowed back in Nissan Stadium, and I got to pass some fan code of conduct. You know, just goofy stuff.
Yeah.
But the cops were cool about it. They were like, man, you know, this is the guy that did it in Pittsburgh. You know, a couple of guys knew who I was just from the idiot thing I did in Pittsburgh. So it was cool, man. I got to see Miranda Lambert walk right by where we were, you know, standing. So it was cool. They ended up giving me a ride back to my car. And then, you know, my 12-year-old son was still there. So he was with a teammate, luckily with a teammate and her mom, his mom, because I told him, I was like, look, when I do this, they're going to throw me out. So somebody's got to.
But the whole banning from Nissan Stadium is just ridiculous. Like, so you can't go to a Titans game. Like, that's just so dumb to me. Like, I don't even.
Yeah,
but you know,
here's what's funny about the whole situation. You created something that everybody loves. The team does it now. They do it now. I saw they gave Pecorine a catfish.
Yeah.
Taylor Lewan carried one out. Somebody else threw one that had or the night of Pecorine's retirement, somebody threw one that had a shirt wrapped around it. I'm assuming that wasn't you. Yeah, it's like you started the whole thing and now it's embraced. So they should definitely not ban you from anywhere.
For me, it's a fan tradition, right?
Yep.
So it's cool that Lewan had one. It's cool that Pekka, you know, it's cool to see Pekka do that, but at the same time, you know, it's a fan tradition. So it didn't matter what they did presentation wise before the game. A fan's got to do it to make the tradition, right? So
absolutely.
That was my thinking going into it, and it was fun. And I won a $50 bet on the side. You know,
nice.
One of my sons.
The next time you do it, and we'll work out something in your favor, like something to be enticing for you. But the next time you do it, when you're getting tackled, you say, "I'm doing this in the name of the Catfish on Ice podcast."
That's right. Or we'll give you a T-shirt or something. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we'll give you a T-shirt. Yeah, but that was awesome, man. Like when I saw that was like the coolest part. I mean, the whole game itself was cool, but like that was awesome, man.
Great job. That place was rocking, man. It was a cool event. You know, getting to experience it with my son was really cool. And then you know, funny thing for him is I told him, I was like, look, his name's Bryant. I was like, Bryant, look, man, I didn't tell my wife, I didn't tell him. They didn't know I had a catfish on me. I was like, look, like it was about second period. I was like, I got a catfish right here. So I'm gonna throw it at some point, and he's used to it now. So instead of being like, oh no, are you gonna get in trouble? He was like, how am I gonna get concessions in the third period if you get thrown out? Like that's what he was worried about. How's he gonna eat in the third? I was like, dude, you're gonna be all right.
You'll be all right. Somebody will take care of you. That's funny. So
up
until the point of when you did it, just talk about like the whole, like what did you guys do? Did you go down there early and just talk about like the whole experience overall? Because it looked like, I unfortunately didn't get to go. It looked like a blast. But just talk about a little bit about that.
So again, you know, it was kind of unique for us. We were blessed and spoiled, I guess you would say. My son's team also got to go when the teams pulled up on their buses. His team got to be right there on the guardrails, like welcoming the players in. So we were there, for from probably 1:30 till the end of the game. So we were there all day. We tailgated. Tailgating was cool. That was fun. Wow. That's where I made the $50 bet with one of his teammates' dads. He was like, "There's no way you're going to do that." So $150 there, but we just tailgated, and leading up to it, man, trying to take as much of it in with my son as I could. The experience, you know, he got all kind of concessions and stuff, but I was kind of, you know, it was enjoying it, but I was also kind of scout mode, like I'm trying to figure out who's not paying attention, where I got to go, and I figured out the best time to do it would be like right after a fight, right? So everybody's hyped, and then get everybody. Right. So there was a fight in the second period. I think it was the second period that I initially jumped up and was going to run down and do it, but right as I got down, like towards the end, the ice crew came out. So do it when the ice crew's out there. So as luck would have it, this dude that was sitting in the very front row went to the bathroom the same time I did. So I was like, "Hey man, look, this is what I got. This is what I'm gonna do." He was like, "Hell yeah, dude! Sure, man. I'll help you out for sure." So I just went down there and scouted it out again, and I'll think it. Let's see, yeah, and just took off, put my foot on the guardrail. It was so my one worry. I'm an older dude now, right? I'm not as athletic as I thought I am. My one worry was I'm gonna jump this rail and I'm gonna pop an Achilles and look like the biggest idiot, like dragging a leg, trying to throw a catfish. Like, who's this idiot?
That would have been still pretty incredible. You can see that.
Yeah, but you probably wouldn't have made it.
I don't want to see that happen.
You're limping. I don't think it was going to happen.
Yeah,
man, I'm telling you, that was a huge So I jumped over it, and I was probably 20 yards away just when I threw it. So I mean, and I was halfway there. So that'd have been a daggone 50-yard toss. I didn't realize how long of a toss that would be, but made sure we got it done. It was a cool day. It was a great atmosphere. Prez did a great job. Awesome. My son got to have a great experience, and the catfish.
Made
showed up again, man.
Made it on the ice, man. It made it on the ice. Everyone talked about it. So
perfect.
Yeah. So I got to shout out. Her name's Micah. She got the view. My boy Dustin got the view from the side, and then Micah, the lady setting with, who took care of my son while I got thrown out, she got the behind view where you can actually see the catfish.
All right, I got to see that one. I haven't seen that one. I've only seen the side view.
Yeah, so there's one. She took one that you can actually see. It's actually kind of the funnier one. You can see me toss it, and it hits the ice and slides right up by one of the Lightning players. So
awesome. That's perfect. That's awesome, man. How fitting.
Yeah.
How fitting to land there a Lightning player.
And every single one of those players, both Lightning and Preds players, loved that. They were like, this, because this is what grows the game. This kind of stuff, like traditions. It's like you said, Jake, it's all about fan tradition, man. Yeah. And so you've built a fan tradition that everyone that follows hockey knows about when it comes to the Preds. If you follow hockey closely, and again, that's how we came up with the name of this very podcast. So that's why when you come on here, we're just ready to be like Wayne and Wayne's World and just for real. It's so cool, man. But
it's just I just piggyback, off somebody else's idea. Just happened to be the first one to do it, and, in an away city in a big moment and piss a whole lot of people off. So it just kind of blew it up. But yeah, it's all. That's what they do it for, right? I mean, my son's he's already decided that he's going to play 6 years in the league and probably for the Preds.
Heck,
that's how
man.
That stuff. So
there you go. That's awesome.
Love it.
I mean, they talk about they were talking about the catfish thing on TNT. I mean, it's everywhere. I mean, everybody knows about it, and it's just really a really cool thing to be associated with it. So it's very cool.
All right, so let's focus.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say real quick. Finish whatever you're about to say there about the rest of the stadium series, but I also want to get into. I want to ask you, Catfish Jake, really, how are we feeling about this team as well? Because I mean, they played well in the game itself. They did. They're playing a 2-time back-to-back Stanley Cup champion team that's stacked. Yep. There were plenty of Lightning fans there. So I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on that. How many fans showed up for the Lightning? Because I've heard conflicting reports on that. But also, what do you want this team to do? Do you think that they might have what it takes to maybe make some noise in the playoffs, or do you think that we should probably just think more about the long-term future with the trade deadline coming up?
As far as the team goes, man, well, I'll start with the fans. The Lightning were represented well, and this is where it gets huge for me. So, in our section, there was 101. There was a huge contingency of Tampa fans that all had gotten together and traveled up here together. So they were loud in that little section. And the thing that throws it off is Bridgestone capacity is 17, almost 18,000, right?
Yeah.
So Nissan's got 68,000 people. And they're like, man, I can't believe they got 18,000 Tampa fans. Okay, well, that still means there was 50,000 Preds fans.
Absolutely.
They were loud. It's the numbers get skewed because it's 3 times the size of what we're used to. So there's going to be a hell of a lot more fans there. Tampa did represent well. They had a lot of fans, but it's Nashville. Everybody wants to come here. There's some bandwagon fans that were there because Tampa's won back-to-back. and naturally a bigger venue is going to have more fans. So I thought it was cool on both sides. They were surprisingly obnoxious. I wasn't.
I don't like to hear that.
I wasn't expecting. And a friend of mine told me this a while back. He's lived down there, I guess. He said that their hockey fans were obnoxious. I was like, it doesn't make any sense for people in Tampa to be obnoxious about hockey. It's Tampa, but they were. But everybody's got obnoxious.
When you win and when you're a fan base that's won back-to-back championships, and honestly, you know that you have the team and the roster to maybe win 3 in a row, which has not been done very often in NHL history. Yeah. I mean, I'm not giving them a pass. I'm never going to give you a pass to be an asshole at a game when you're a fan. Yeah. But that doesn't surprise me.
They're going to have to go through Colorado, though. I think that's going to be. I think that'll be the Cup final. If we don't make it. Ooh. Now, so talking about our team, so a hot goalie can carry a team, right? And we all know that UC is as good as there is in the league.
Yep.
I don't want to be the sunshine guy, but I'm going to say if we were buyers instead of sellers and we got another stud defenseman or solid defenseman, and maybe, I think that in itself would do us huge. I don't have a name in mind. I wish we'd have kept Ellis, but if we had one more solid defenseman, veteran defenseman, because we're really young, so I think that can kind of hurt us. But I think you got Forsberg, you got Jeannot, Duchesne, Granlund. I mean, those guys can all score. Granlund's a grinder. I love guys who play like him, and we got the enforcers now. You got the tough dudes. So if we, and Yossi's, you can't go without mentioning Yossi because he's always in the right place. Ekholm solid. So if we had
he's
one
starting
more,
to play better,
if we had one more solid veteran defenseman, I think it would really carry us a little bit further. But I think we can. I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but they didn't think we could do it in 17. So
there you go. That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, it's absolutely true.
I like that perspective. I like that perspective. I haven't seen it out there very often. Recently about the Preds maybe scoping out a defenseman. Here's the thing. The Preds have money to spend. They can be as aggressive as they want to be this year. Like, they're not tied to the cap. They've got assets. They've got prospects. Yep. They've got money. The only wild card, and we've been talking about it for months now, is Philip Forsberg. And that's the only thing that kind of makes it kind of tricky when it comes to, because you don't know what's going to happen with that. But other than that, David Poile has all the cards in his hand to, if he wants to, like you're saying, Catfish Jake, he can go out and make a big splash. He can do it.
Yeah. The Forsberg thing scares me. I know the piece that he is, but he is and has been the stud offensive threat that we've had for a long time, and he's showing that he still is. I mean, he may still be, but there was one point not long ago that he was the league leader in even strength goals. I mean, the dude can score. I mean, and when you got a young kid like Jeannot coming up who's firing it up, and Duchesne is playing great this year. Those guys, it's all starting to kind of come together. When they were putting this together, I think it's starting to come into fruition what they were trying to do. So to get rid of him at this point, and that would, I like him. I think he's a hell of a player.
Yeah,
he's good for the city, and he's been our main goal, scoring threat. To get rid of him when we're trying to make a playoff push, I don't care what you get for him. I think it would be a move to show that we're just trying to set up for the future, and I think this town's kind of ready to not set up for the future and to go for it now. Yeah.
No. Once fans get a little taste of that winning, man, they don't want to hear anything about the future.
That's right. And they got they got a bunch of good young players that they've done a good job of cultivating and bringing up and growing, and they're really starting to pay off. To get rid of a veteran like Forsberg, who can also score, would set that cycle back another year or two to get another guy in. So, I mean, I think they're set up right now where they could make a move. Like I said, I wish they still had Ellis. I didn't like that move at all, but If they get a guy, similar to him, which they're not easy to find, to jump in on the D, I think they got a shot.
Yep.
Well, I mean, it's going to be really hard for Poyle to not be a buyer in the position he's in. Like, that's kind of where I'm seeing it. Like, I mean, how can you expect him to just take his money to the next season and not, like, it'd be one thing if the Preds weren't in the position they were. Let's say they were out of the playoffs and they were just having a really bad season. That'd be different.
Yeah.
But they're in this position where they can maybe finish in the top 3 of the division.
Yeah.
And they've got all this money to spend. They got this cap room. They've got this capital that they can trade to another team that and offer you. The trade market looks really good this year. There's a lot of really good players out there that could help this Preds team right now, including defensemen, like you just said, Jake. So, I mean, it's going to be really hard for David Poyle to resist that.
I think they got to go. Honestly, I think it all goes through Colorado. So if they make a move, they gotta find what piece that they can add that pinches Colorado the most, that can cause Colorado the biggest problem, because that's a damn good team. I know they've been good for a while. And they've kind of messed it up in the playoffs, but I think if they're healthy, dude, they're I think it's them with the Lightning if it ain't us.
Yeah, I agree
for sure, man. All right, well, Catfish Jake, we appreciate you joining us. Please let all of our listeners know where they can find your stuff, how they can follow you on Twitter and on social media, and anything else you got going on right now, man.
Yeah, so it's you called it out. It's hard to say. When I first set up Twitter, I didn't plan on being a Catfish Jake guy, so I just used my first name, middle name, which is DeVerl. So it's at Jacob DeVerl, JACOBDEVERAL, and CatfishJakeFoundation.org is we kind of get set back because of COVID, but still going, still up and running, still trying to help out. And the Last Minute Toy Store is lastminutetoystore.com. Great Christmas charity that I'm on the board of. That's where you can find me. Anywhere else, you can find me on Twitter. I don't do Instagram a whole lot, but if I'm gonna do some stupid, silly stunt like throwing the catfish, you'll find it.
You got to put that everywhere.
Places. Yeah.
It's got to be everywhere.
We'll find another cool place to do it. Another good time to do it, to get everybody hyped up, and see if I can't get tackled, or maybe this time juke somebody if I can see them coming.
There you go. Yeah, work on your juking skills a little bit so you can fake them out next time.
I was a lineman, so I got a whole lot of good juking skills, so got a break for it.
All right.
I appreciate you guys. Oh, man.
Oh, we appreciate it so much, man, having you on.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, man. We've been joined by Catfish Jake. He came back and joined the podcast. This has been episode 109. He will be back in the future anytime he wants to join, and we're lucky enough to have him. He will be on Catfish on Ice. We really appreciate him and everything he does for the fan base and for this franchise and just all the fun and stuff that he does. We really appreciate it. This has been episode 109 of Catfish on Ice, presented by DraftKings and part of Hockey Podcast Network with the little fish going across his screen right now. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. We'll see you later this week for a new episode. See you later.
Have a good one.